Hey there, this is Jeff, and this is part four of getting more depth in our mix. Uh, so today we're going to talk about delay and how we can use it to create more depth. And so, obviously, delays with uh, shorter times will give them more up front, and delays with longer times will push back. So again, I'm going to continue to use this vocal as an example and kind of show you this. uh, Start off with a very short decay time, and or a delay time I should say, and this is just a slap back delay, and let's listen.
For the life of me, I've tried to live by faith and not by eyes. She been baking since this morning. I've been watching as always.
Right, so it gives a sense of space around the vocal. You heard the line where I played it dry. It's just real cold and kind of sterile. And just by adding a little bit of slapback delay, it gives a nice space around the vocal and makes it feel like it's got space around it. So if we wanted to push the vocal back, we could start adding bigger times. So let's listen to what this does.
For the life of me, I've tried to live by faith and not by eyes. She been baking since this morning. I've been watching as always.
Right, so that's gives it the impression that it's sitting back further. Let's go bigger.
For the life of me, I've tried to live by faith and not by eyes. She been baking since this morning. I've been watching as always.
So that's pushing the vocal back a little bit further. Let's go even bigger.
For the life of me, I've tried to live by faith and not by eyes. She been baking since this morning. I've been watching as always.
And finally, let's go with the half note here.
For the life of me, I've tried to live by faith and not by eyes. She been baking since this morning. I've been watching as always.
Right, so that makes it even seem like it's in a bigger space. And I really like to use delays in mixes, especially on guitars, um, uh, like guitar fills and jangly guitars. I just like what it does to the guitar, kind of puts it in its own little space. Excuse me. But I tend to use, if I don't use a short reverb followed by a long reverb on a vocal, I'll use kind of a slap back delay followed by a reverb. So let's see here. Let's go with a quarter note. And another way you can push something way, way, way back in the mix is by using a delay followed by a reverb. And all I have is I've got this delay. Here's the vocal channel here, and I'm sending it to the delay right here, and then I'm sending the delay to the reverb right here. So we can see what kind of effect this has. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. All right, let's listen.
For the life of me, I've tried to live by faith and not by eyes. She been baking since this morning. I've been watching as always. For the life of me, I've tried to live by faith and not by eyes. She been baking since this morning. I've been watching as always.
So do you feel that? You feel when that reverb's on, how it's pushed back and very distant from the vocal, creating a very large space. So that's something you can do. And I also wanted to show you guys this is kind of a cool delay trick. It's going to take me a minute to set it up. Let me set it up and I'll just show it to you really quick. Okay, so let me try to explain this as best as I can. What I'm doing here is a pretty cool little trick I learned from someone else. So I take a send and send it to delay left and put just a quarter note delay mono instance of it. And I pan it left. Okay. And then I send another send to a new aux and I call it delay right. And I put another quarter note delay on. And then I pan this to the right, and then I send it back to the left delay. All right, you can see I've got the volume up here. So what happens is the vocal goes here, goes out to the right delay, and then goes back to the left delay. And then what I've also done is sent it to the reverb that we have set up here. I send this to the left side and this to the right side. So it's kind of a delay that over time degradates. Is that the right word I want to? Let me think of simpler terms because here I am trying to use a big word. It loses quality over time. And it's pretty cool. So let's just listen to it. How about that?
For the life of me, I've tried to live by faith and not by eyes. She been baking since the...
All right. Now I'm going to turn the reverb on.
For the life of me, I've tried to live by faith and not by eyes. She been baking since this morning. I've been watching as always.
So without the reverb, without the reverb, excuse me, the delays are more up front, but with the reverb, it pushes them back. All right, so this is just kind of a cool delay trick that I've picked up over the years, and I thought I'd share it. You can really control how much the delay goes wherever you want it to go, because it's sending to both the left side and the right side, and then back to the left side, so it can go on as long as you want. You just got to be careful when you turn the volumes up on these, because it can really just keep on going on forever. So that's it. I'm going to wrap this series up now and just tell you that it takes time and practice to get that depth, but you can do it. Just work on using EQ, compression, reverb, delay, and then delay plus reverb, delay sent into a reverb, to give you that really far back depth. And just practice on instruments and vocals, and then implement these practices into your mixes. I don't care if you just grab a microphone and sing a line into it, and then just start playing with reverb and delay and EQ and compression, just to get a feel for what it's doing, because you don't want to get in the battle of a mix and be like, oh, what should I do now? What should I use for space and depth? You want to have these tools in your arsenal that you can pull out and go, oh, you know what? I know how I can get this to push back really far in the mix and get that depth by using, delay plus reverb, or rolling off the high with an EQ, or compressing something to make it seem like it's further back. So just practice this stuff, and the more you practice, the better you'll get at it, and it will come naturally to you after you've done it for a while. Like, I don't even hardly think in terms of where I want an instrument. It's kind of almost second nature to me now. Like, if I hear a guitar part, I instantly just think in my head, okay, I'm going to be pushing that back with delay, or I'm going to roll the high end off of that background vocal so it sits behind the lead vocal. It's just second nature to me now. So I hope you've enjoyed this series, and comment below. Let me know what you thought of it, or what you've learned from it, or maybe you have something to add that I'm not aware of, or other people aren't aware of. Please feel free to give me tips. Like I said before, I will always be a student of audio, so I enjoy learning new things too. Thanks for watching this series, and I got some pretty cool things coming up. At least I think they're cool. I'm an audio nerd, so it might not be cool to you. I don't know, but I got some pretty cool ideas about some other tutorial videos that I'm gonna make. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.